Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please hit the subscribe this video. Mark Consuelos was known for his smile. Every morning on Live with Kelly and Mark, that familiar grin lit up millions of living rooms across America. But behind that smile was a man quietly unraveling. Mark had always been the strong one, the protector, the provider, the steady presence who carried his family through every storm. But the same strength that made him admirable also made it hard for him to admit weakness. For months, Kelly had noticed the subtle signs, the way his laughter seemed more forced, how he'd sit in silence after work, how his once bright eyes had grown distant. At first, she thought he was just tired. After all, juggling early mornings, live television, and parenting 3 grown kids wasn't easy. But one night, Kelly realized it wasn't just exhaustion. It was pain. It happened quietly. No cameras. No audience. Just the two of them in their New York apartment, surrounded by the soft glow of city lights. Mark had come home later than usual. He dropped his bag by the door, loosened his tie, and sank into the couch. Kelly, sitting across from him with her laptop, looked up. "Rough day?" she asked gently. Mark didn't answer. He just stared at the floor. "Hey," she said, closing the laptop. "Talk to me." After a long pause, his voice cracked. "I don't think I'm okay, Kel." Kelly froze. She had never heard those words from him before. "What do you mean?" she whispered. He leaned forward, burying his face in his hands. "I don't know. I feel lost. Empty. Like I'm failing everyone." Kelly moved closer. "Mark, you're not failing anyone. You've been carrying too much. You don't have to do that alone." But he shook his head, tears glistening in his eyes. "I feel like I'm disappearing, Kel. And I don't know how to stop it." For the first time in their marriage, Kelly saw him not as the man who held everything together, but as someone breaking quietly under the weight of expectations. In the weeks that followed, Mark tried to keep going as if nothing had changed. He went to work. He smiled on camera. He laughed at jokes and cracked his own. But Kelly could see through it all. She'd catch him staring blankly at his coffee, his mind clearly somewhere else. She'd hear him wake up in the middle of the night, pacing the hallway. When she tried to talk to him, he'd say, "I'm fine, Kel. Don't worry." But she worried anyway. She started reading about burnout, depression, and anxiety, things neither of them had ever truly discussed. The more she read, the more her heart broke. The man who'd spent his whole life giving to others had forgotten how to take care of himself. One night, Kelly sat beside him and took his hand. "Mark, I think it's time we talk to someone. Together." He looked at her, hesitant. "You mean therapy?" "Yes," she said softly. "It's not weakness, Mark. It's healing." He didn't answer that night. But the next morning, he surprised her with a quiet nod. "Okay. Let's do it." The first therapy session was awkward. Mark didn't know where to start. He'd spent decades being strong, for Kelly, for their kids, for everyone. Opening up felt unnatural, even embarrassing. But the therapist's question pierced through his hesitation. "What do you fear the most, Mark?" He hesitated, then whispered, "Failing my family." Kelly's eyes welled up. She reached for his hand, whispering, "You've never failed us." That session became the turning point. Mark began to really talk, for the first time in years. He spoke about the crushing pressure of fame, the constant comparisons, the expectation to always be on. He spoke about aging in the spotlight, about feeling invisible next to the vibrant energy of youth on television. And he spoke about guilt for missing moments with their kids, guilt for not being able to fix everything, guilt for feeling sad despite having so much to be grateful for. Kelly listened in silence, tears streaming down her face. She had always admired his strength. This vulnerability was the bravest thing she'd ever seen. After one particularly raw session, Kelly excused herself and walked into the